My son Andrew has a big poster of Derek Jeter on his wall, and I'm a Blue Jays fan, and so at first I was like, dude, WTF? Why the face? That's dad humor. It's cool because Andrew was born in New York City. We used to live there before we moved out here to the Bay Area, and I'm actually cool with it because he can make up his own mind, obviously. But Derek Jeter, I make my kids read for an hour every day during the summer. And they can pick whatever book they want. And so Andrew picked a book by Derek Jeter. And the amazing thing, and I asked Andrew, what'd you learn? And Andrew said that Derek Jeter was very successful because I think it was every January or so, since he was like 8 or 9 years old, his parents made him write down all of his goals on one page. And then put it on the wall. Little things like get A's or B's in school, clean my room, be nice to mom and dad, practice baseball, etc. And it's a very simplistic thing to do, but I think that's why Derek Jeter is such an incredibly well-rounded role model. He's an amazing person in so many respects. And so I had Andrew, my son, also write down his goals. And he's been doing that every year and putting it on his wall, and he's actually accomplished a bunch of them. And so it's never too late to sit down and write down your goals. And I'm going to share with you something I couldn't share with students before. But when I used to teach at San Francisco State during the evenings, I love those students, are the best. When I would give them their final exam, what I would do is this. I'd give them the exam, and it's all page down. There's like 20 pages, whatever. And what I would do is I would tell them to open up the last page on the exam. It's all stapled. And they have 5 minutes to fill it out. And that 5 minutes is basically, they have to write down on that one pager. I have questions like, what are your 1-year goals? What are your 2-year goals, 5-year goals, 10-year goals, 20-year goals? When are you going to accomplish them by, etc. And they have to write furiously for 5 minutes or whatever it is. And then what I do is I tell them all to stand up. And I have big classes too. One of my classes was like 75 or 80 students. It was awesome. It's awesome. Love those kids. Those students were the best. And I'd ask them all to stand up. And I'd ask them to then take off that last page from the last page of the exam and fold it up and put it in their pocket. And I told them that they all got perfect on that part of the exam, which made them feel more comfortable, and they wrote the rest of the exam. I was an easy grader always. I got actually... The dean approached me once. He said, "Chris, there's serious grade inflation here." And every semester, my answer would be, "Yeah, but this is the best class I've ever had." Anyway, whatever. I love to teach. It's a lot of fun. But I asked them to put that piece of paper in their wallet or in their purse or whatever, and to carry it around with them everywhere. And that's something I've been doing for many years now. And I recommend that people do that, but also write them down in your calendar on your iPhone or your Android handset, and have that calendar entry repeat daily. And update those goals quite often. Update them a lot. Go on long walks by yourself and update them. If you write down your goals, the chance of you accomplishing them goes up materially. And if you do this, last thing I'll say is, I want you to vocalize those goals too. Tell your friends, because that way it'll kind of put pressure on you in a loving way to make those goals a reality. And then also, you got to write down a deadline date. Otherwise, what happens is you can't really accomplish all those goals. It might just be a pipe dream. And what really, one of the things that changed my life is when I met Tony Robbins, and I went to one of his events as well. He had us all, millions of people in the audience, write down our goals. And we had to write down a deadline date as well. And that's key. That's key because Tony was saying that most people give up on their New Year's resolutions by the 3rd week of January or so, over 90% of people, just because they don't write down a deadline date. So always write down a deadline date. That's the bottom line today. If this was helpful, and only if this was helpful, please click the like button and subscribe. And I will see you mañana. Thank you.